Boom. Yeah, we had a little bit of a technical issue there, but we got it fixed now. So if the stream gets messed up, we're also recording it, so that way it'll go straight to our YouTube. But without further ado, let's get back to work. There we go. It looks like it's working now. Sorry about the technical glitch. Okay. There we go.
There we go.
Yes, and it's working over here. Very nice. Slightly less evil.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. So when last we left off, we had laid out the Paragon. Paragon is a pretty strong, solid cover stock in the same vein as the Paradox. It is done with dot and dynamic core, which means we can push the pin a little bit closer to the fingers without having to worry about the warranty issues. Numbers on this are 2.486 RG, so really low RG. 0.56 differential, so it's a fairly strong flaring ball. And 0.15 intermediate differential means that it's going to be a little bit more symmetrical, so it's going to be very continuous, even though this is a traction cover stock.
Yay, continuous.
Yay, continuous. What did we put this at anyway? This is going to be 4.5 inches, very fast. Boo, 55, and I'm gonna bet probably 40.
I think that's what you said, yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So this is gonna be it's gonna start to rev up fairly early. Very large flare. It's not going to respond as soon as it sees friction. It's gonna be about kind of a medium response. So when it makes its move down lane, it's going to be very strong, very continuous through the pins. So we're going to put this guy up into the press. Switch over to that in a second. But before we do that, got this Eruption Pro here.
Yay, Eruption Pro.
All of you Columbia/EBI fans know that the Eruption and the Eruption Pro was really good for them when it first came out. And now that it's being re-released, I finally get to throw it. And I get this kind of tool in my bag. So this is a 2.47 RG, so low RG, 0.41 differential symmetrical. So it's a medium low differential. I'd say kind of closer to medium. It's going to be for blending out the lane. So, well, first of all, it's got the Resurgence core in it, same core as it had originally.
Nice.
When we talk about blending out the lane, it's going to be fairly strong early, but it's not going to be huge flaring. So it's not going to, when it sees the friction, it's not going to want to jump left really fast. It's going to stay on that track. The 040 track's only going to be 2-3 inches of flare. So it's going to stay on the oily part fairly long time. It's I don't think when was the last time we had a shape like this from these brands?
It's been a while, for sure.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, very few symmetrics have come out.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And
yeah.
I mean, this cover's not like a hook monster cover.
Yeah.
It's a little slower than what we'd see in the jabs. So it really doesn't want to jump left.
Yeah.
It's something that you can play in the friction a little bit more. It's when they're over or under, you can kind of get on top of the friction. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's going to fit. I think it's going to fit somewhere between the Beast. Like, remember the Beasts that came out?
Yeah,
the
the
re-releases?
Beast is a little stronger than them. And
Yep, and then underneath the Power Torque, because the Power Torque is a slow cover stock too, but it's a little bit stronger flare.
Yeah.
Excuse me, flaring.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be It's going to be interesting because, like you said, it's been a while since anybody's come out with something like that.
Yeah, because most of the time when we see an 040, we're seeing it in a benchmark, so it's a solid.
Yeah.
And the 040s that we've seen in Pearl have been like the Intel Pearl and the bonus Pearl.
Yeah.
So they've wanted them to be really fast down lane.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a slow, kind of Pearl-ish control ball. It's got really interesting.
Yeah.
How should we lay it out, Scoops?
Oh, you probably have to go 55 for your first angle.
You're liking that 55, aren't you?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Zoop. And let's mark off a 55 here. Bada bing. Now then. So we're looking at this ball. It's for blending at the lanes. It's going to be weaker, so it's going to be seeing a lot more friction. I don't think we really need it to have a strong pin position like a 3.5.
No, you can take advantage of what you said, keeping it close, right? Because
Yep.
if it's going to dry out, you don't need it to flare as much. Like if you're moving into it when the lanes break open, right?
Yep. Let's go with, yeah. I'm going to go with kind of a medium pin position. We're going to go with 4 1/4. The reason I'm doing this, at below 3 inches, even though that would be good for getting it to roll early, I think because it's blending it out, we don't really need it to roll that early.
Yeah.
I think at 5 inches, somewhere around there, I think it's going to push it to be too hockey stickish, and we really don't want it to be that late snap.
No, especially when you said it's not really
Designed
for it. So if you're going to force it to do something it's not designed to do, it's going to, be a little weird, I think.
Ooh, question in the chat. Scoops, gonna add a UC3 to your collection?
Maybe if I can get enough money saved up. I don't have any more bowling balls to sell. Storm is actually very expensive for us in Canada to get.
Yeah.
It's probably the most expensive brand right now, so.
Oh yeah, no, it is absolutely. For Canadians, it is the most expensive brand.
I did go home and realize that I had to tank Burgundy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And there was another one too I tripped over. Oh shoot, I forgot what it was.
It'll come to you.
Yeah.
Or you'll trip over it
I'll
again.
trip over it again. Yeah, I went to the bedroom, to bed that night and realized, oh my gosh, there's another 2. So.
Well, Joshua P. Oh, I just got a message from you.
No, yeah. I'm
That's
outside.
neat. Oh, apparently you're outside.
Yeah, they locked the door downstairs. I had to drive to a different door, so.
So Josh P. online reminded us that 900 Global owns AMF, because we talked about that on...
Yeah, we talked about that last time. Which makes me... I love Global. I love everything that Global's done. I'm just kind of sad that it became more of Storm than it was, in my opinion.
One of the things that kind of set them apart, I mean, I think everybody makes great bowling balls.
Yeah.
900 used to make different stuff. I mean, how can we really complain, though, because aren't like all the Storm and Roto guys throwing all of the new...
They threw on all the 900 stuff.
Yeah.
I know, it's ridiculous, but... I mean, it's good for them because the Storm guys get to throw that amazing technology that those guys at Global design.
Yep.
With those cores and stuff. So they're still getting a little bit of a play, but I don't think we're going to see as much AMF stuff.
I think
out.
AMF, I think they'll probably retire that brand for them.
Yeah. Because they were starting to come out with some more there before they got amalgamated into Storm fully.
Yeah.
Because we
a lot of their stuff was retro, like retro nameplates, though.
The Ninja, and there was a few other ones that came out that were pretty awesome. So
I just threw right here. I just threw a 35-degree valve angle on it. Although I am considering going a little bit less. No, you know what? 35 for this particular one.
It's good.
35 on this one isn't too bad. It's relatively fast response. Oh, you know what? Oh, I know why. Because this is symmetrical.
Yeah.
35 degrees is relatively fast response. For somebody like myself, it's not, it's pretty good. For you, I think we could probably actually crack the polish off this and really get it to hook.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is 35 is a good spot because it's a good control. And like you said,
well, we could go...
Take the polish off to get it a little bit more teeth.
Yep.
Right, so...
Could go to 40. Like 5 degrees is a lot, but it is not a lot.
Yeah. I like things in the 30s. So, I mean, like you said, it's not a lot, but it makes me feel better when I see a 30. At one point, we had it figured out that some of the balls that I was bowling the best with when we laid them out was about, I think it was about 85 to 90 when you added the two angles together.
Yeah, you seem to like the smaller angles.
Yeah. So.
Let's see here. Matthew Daughtry had asked if we were going to do some videos for no-thumbers. And I don't know if people noticed on our schedule, but this Thursday, I'm going to be drilling a ball with the 2LS system, the storm layout system. While Mo also has a system, I unfortunately was not able to learn it prior to his passing. So until I do learn it properly, I don't want to, I don't want to use it and then give people the wrong information.
Yeah. And they have some really interesting layouts with that stuff, don't they?
Yeah. Like I know that there was a lot of talk pushing the pin into certain quadrants can cause some interesting issues.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of the layouts where the pin is really, really high that I'm a little iffy on. But for the most part, I've started using it for most of my two-handers, and it's worked out extremely well, so. Like Mr. Blakely.
Yeah. Mr. 800 with both his right hand and left.
Yep.
I mean, not right and left. Two-handed and two-handed and one-handed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where we did.
Yeah, we need to get him to bowl right-handed now. That way you can have a right-handed in a different direction. Or 800 in a different direction. Just seeing if there's any other questions that have come up. Let's see here. The Big Easy, I still use my Rhino Pro Purple.
Oh, we found one time and it turned out it was egg-shaped.
Yeah.
We were both so devastated.
Yeah, just before I was going away for the tour,
Yeah.
I was looking for an older ball like that. It was unfortunate, but it happens.
I have my teal at home that I bring back for special occasions.
Corbin E said when we were talking about the retro balls,
Yeah.
that they should bring back the Gurus.
Yes.
It's an interesting idea.
Asymmetric urethane ball right there. If I
was
saw
going to
one.
say, I always wanted a urethane Guru.
Yeah. Phil will reach through the camera and smack us.
Yeah, I can hear him being angry already. Super Blitz asked, why don't we give Joe Pro grips a try? Honestly, very happy with what I use. Why fix what's not broken? Turbo's been super good. Like we said on the ITs, we've never had an issue. So for me, it doesn't make sense. How about for you, Nick?
No, yeah, comfort's key for me. So it might be old and crotchety, but why change?
Why change?
I'm willing to give anything a try once or twice. I mean, I tried the Ultimate Thumb.
Yep.
I didn't like it as much as my my switch grip.
I think because when we got them, we got the old.
I got the
versions.
ones before Brunswick took over and kind of fixed some of their
issues. Yeah, because they were really rattly.
Yeah, I use it from time to time. I have 3 balls that I have it in. I got my Storm Supernatural.
Yep.
My Motive Tag, and my Ultra Nirvana. And I use it in my tag. I can't use it in my my Supernatural. It moves too much.
Yeah.
I can feel it feels like it's coming almost off my hand in my backswing. So
yeah, and that's it. If it's activating your hand, if it's causing you to start using grip pressure, that's no good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to try it since Brunswick took over and fixed the mold. I think it was just slight molding issues.
Yep.
So.
All right, so we've got the Eruption Pro laid out. Already checked our pin to finger hold distance, and we're good. We're gonna have 1 1/4 inches in between. It's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so the next step is I guess we gotta drill this Paragon.
It's interesting that only one of them came out with dot technology this time, right?
Well, I think the dot technology, they've been holding a lot of it for. I got my mask. They've holding a lot of it for the higher end stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, layout and color. That's the one. All right.
Yeah, good.
Perfecto. So let's get this thing locked in. So if there are any questions in the chat, just let us know. We're just gonna keep on doing whatever.
Going back to the UC3, I would love to try one for sure, just to see how it compares to the Widow. Because a guy I bowl with, Wayne, we talked about him before, he's a two-hander, and he has his Black Widow urethane, and he just started bringing it out ever since I brought my purple out. Since I got mine, he brought his back out. He's thrown it a couple times, but he definitely really enjoys throwing the UC3. So.
Yeah, he's done pretty good with that ball.
Yeah. He says, looking at it, watching me throw my purple urethane, Widow urethane, he says it's a lot similar shape and motion. So it'd be interesting to see, really get a good comparison. So, but.
Now, I know listening to the people, or the pros, the peoples, the pros at the Players' Championship qualifying this week, the UC3, a lot of those guys don't even think of it as urethane anymore.
No.
It's just a really strong, controllable ball.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. It's really extremely weak resin, really, when it comes down to it.
Yes. Now it is resin because it absorbs oil.
Yeah.
Any cover stock that absorbs oil is not urethane.
Did you see Jacob's bag?
No, I didn't.
So I looked at his tackers, the ones that he posted,
Uh-huh.
and he had purple urethane, and double cross. That's pretty much what he threw. On the Dragon, he only had one ball listed, and I couldn't see what it was. But I'm pretty sure if I look at the serial number, the end of the serial number, I could probably figure it out. It's probably one of those two, to be honest.
So that was the West region where Jacob ended up leading.
He led, what, three out of the 4 blocks to be first seed?
Yep. That's Jacob Buttriff, and then in second, Jake Peters. Nice to see Jake Peters there.
Yes.
Wesley Lowe, the super cheating left-handed two-hander. Not because he's cheating, but because he's left-handed and two-handed.
Yeah.
It should be cheating. And then Belmonte.
Yes. Which was his first time back since before the pandemic, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like 12 or 14 months.
Yeah.
And then Cortez Shank. I do not know that name.
No.
But congratulations to all of them in the West region.
Yep.
I just happened to, bring my phone over here that has
those?
all those things on
Yeah,
it?
it took me a little while to figure out where to find all the information because I was following it on Facebook and they were really, really slow all the time.
Yeah.
Updating, so I was waiting. I had to wait for boulders to pop up, and then I finally found a spot on the PBA one. So,
Well, then.
we got a few fellow Canadians make some of the shows too.
Yep.
So.
Was it Wesley Lowe is left-handed, two-handed, and uses his thumb? Yeah, it's like super cheating.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Two-handed with his thumb on the ball. So.
He just gets all the advantages, and apparently he's a nice guy. At least that's a good thing, right?
Well, you have to be a nice guy if you're taking that many advantages of people. So. No, we've had an honor to meet quite a few boulders in our adventures, and I don't think I've met a grouchy one, but I wouldn't say he's necessarily a bad guy.
No, as long as you give him his wiffle bat, he'll be fine.
And then everybody else, honored to meet all of them when we got to go to Detroit. How many years ago that was now?
I think that was 2013.
Yeah, so we got to meet quite a few of them then. And then I got to see a lot of them again when we went when I went with Rob to Vegas.
Yep.
To support him. And so that was really cool. So, and like I said, some guys get intense. Let's put it that way. When they get competing and intense. And when you do an interview after a very long day of bowling, with somebody who's on the elder end of the scale, even back then, and they're intense individuals, things can come off a little weird. So.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, when you're being heckled by people in the crowd, being told you'll never be as good as your dad and stuff like that.
Yeah, I felt that. I felt for him. That was obviously we're talking about Mr. Weber.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him. The crowd was really rough on him.
Yeah, and that was his second show, I think. Because we got to see him in the league, and then we got to see him again in one of the actual events. So.
Yeah. He may not be my best friend, but I mean, you got to respect the guy at least. Like, you should respect all athletes.
But,
a little bit of joshing is fun, but there were some mean people there.
And good to see Mr. Norm Duke.
Yes.
Over his issues with his bowling crisis of the mind.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know how deep the fingers go.
I found an awesome article on, what was it, The Onion?
The Onion, yeah.
About, But yes, I was very happy to see. I love Norm, and he got to make one of the shows too. So
Yeah.
which is great to see. So.
Let's see who else made shows here. In the East region, fellow Canadian, Graham Faw. This is his second tournament with Radical, and the second tournament he's led.
Yeah.
I think he likes the new stuff. Brandon Runk, I don't know what company he bowls for. I think he's another, either Brunswick or Hammer, isn't he?
I think so. I was going to say, I have some pictures of him on Facebook. I had the jerseys on the least, but...
And then
That
the
was
real
yesterday.
deal, Bill O'Neill.
Yeah.
Kyle Troop in fourth, and Patrick Dombrowski in fifth. South region, Tommy Jones in first. Yeah, he averaged like 265 for his first block.
Yeah.
And then good old Norm Duke, David Stouffer, Toby Sembueno, maybe, and DJ Archer. If I'm butchering people's names, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
And then the Midwest, Sean Rash, AJ Johnson, EJ Tackett.
That was the motive section there, those guys.
Yep.
With AJ, EJ, and then Matthew. I think they're all motive now.
And then Bailey Maverick.
Yeah.
And the last one in the South region, which was apparently like the super duper hard region. Because not only did they get the South, but they also got the English bowlers.
Yeah.
That was led by Dom Barrett. And Arturo Quintero. I just butchered that. Arturo Quintero. Come on, lips. Third, another Canadian, Francis Lavoie.
Thank you.
And then in fourth and fifth, Brad and Kyle.
Brad and Kyle. Which will get a show out of that one.
Yeah, well, the problem is they're going to have to bowl each other, and only one of them can make it. So that's going to make for some epic trash talking.
Yeah, and then the West region, that was a pretty good.
Yeah, that was the one that we talked about. All right, let's put a hole in this ball here. Gotta get some oil for this thing, and I gotta figure out where it's squeaking from, because I've lubricated just about every hole giggity that I could find, and it just hasn't gotten any better. It just keeps squeaking. So what else has been new with you, Mr. Scoops? Anything fun?
Not really. Same old, same old.
Yeah, I guess with all the centers being closed for us Canadians, we're not having much fun right now.
Yes, that is what she said. Yeah. No, yeah, it's, even Alice is upset, so she's just like, I want to go bowling. And I'm like, oh, as soon as we can.
Well, if we're really lucky, things will open up on the 26th, and then I think, is that like a Thursday or a Friday or something?
I think it's the Wednesday.
Nice. Then maybe in theory we could like shoot a whole bunch of reviews.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That's I told Don. I said, Don, be ready. Once things open back up and we got to go, so we'll be able to jump back on them. So.
All of those things she also said.
So I stand corrected.
Okay.
I said Matt Russo. He's actually DBA. So.
I was gonna say I thought wasn't he like Rookie of the Year or something?
Yeah. It just all the shirts started blending together. So I found the pictures of everybody. So.
Oh, cool. That's okay. We know you're getting old. Your eyesight is going.
Yeah.
Now, there's something I'm not doing on this thumb that some people might question. And that's I'm not dunking it. I'm not going extra deep. With these big traction pieces, I find that if you make the differential and the intermediate differential too high, when it bleeds off the energy, it just rolls forward too much, and it ends up like wiggle and roll out at the end rather than any kind of really good. Like it doesn't. It not only doesn't it get through the pins very well, but it just doesn't read the end of the pattern very well.
Yeah, and we want this ball to be, like we set it up, to be continuous and push through, right? So.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it so that way it's still relatively symmetrical on the symmetrical side of asymmetrical to keep that continuation.
So you have a question. I can
Okay.
answer this one. So the question is, best way to sharpen drill bits?
Take them to a professional to get them sharpened, because it's not just the sharpening that you have to worry about. You have to worry about continuing to keep the total width of the blade. because we're literally using them to measure people's thumbs. So if you take a little bit off and you take too much off, that drill bit is now a different size.
Yeah.
I know that you can send your bits to Turbo and they'll sharpen them. There's also Innovative in Pennsylvania that does them. But I would definitely always make sure you take them to some place that if they're going to sharpen them, they can also, guarantee the size of your bits. I tried to do it myself once, and this is where I've learned that the bits change shape. Just an FYI, even doing it really, really lightly, because we're talking about 64ths and 32nds, it's just worth it to pay it, because then they guarantee it, and if they screw it up, then they have to buy you a new bit.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it just makes sense that way. So, but that's for me. There's lots of people who sharpen them themselves. People take them to knife sharpening places. But once again, you got to be able to guarantee that hole size.
Yeah.
Giggity. Need like a giggity button. All right, let's get this thumb done. Feeling I need to double check my measurements. I don't know why.
I don't know. I watched the video where you laid that all out, so it looked good to me.
That's dead on. All right. What do they say? Measure 15 times, cut once?
Yeah. It's better to do that for sure. You can't put the material back.
Sorry?
You can't put the material back in the ball.
That's right. It's very difficult. Very difficult. The glue gets stuck to your thumb. don't know if you've been watching the tour on Facebook, but lately they've had $2 Phil Brylow,
Yeah, okay.
doing a lot of stuff, and it has been some of the best coverage I have seen in quite a while.
I did catch a little bit of it, but not tons. But
Phil, I put out a thing on Facebook, and I said, possibly controversial take, Phil Brylow might be becoming the new best voice in bowling. And I don't think I'm wrong.
no, I missed him and
Jeff Goodger?
Yeah, when they were doing before flow with what was it before flow?
Plugged.
Was it plugged? No, I forgot what it was called now. I spent the money on it, but
I know what you mean. Extra frames.
extra frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Phil did a lot of running around and did interviews and stuff. He was really good at that too. So
He paid his dues.
yeah.
Jeff Goodger is really, I'm a big fan of Jeff Goodger. He's I've talked to him many times. Very, very nice gentleman. Wow, that's a big core. Okay, so kind of neat. I'll try to pull this back so you can see into it. What we've drilled through for core material, let me see if I can get my flashlight here, get it even brighter. For core material, you can see how it's two colors there?
Yeah. Is that the ring plus the block? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this side here, the lighter color is the block, and that part right there, the darker part, is the that big mass.
The bubbly thing in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we have definitely drilled through it.
Yeah.
Neat. All right, gotta do some fingers, and we're almost done this ball. It goes so much easier when you have an idea and you can lay it out and just throw it in the machine.
Yeah. Back to zero.
Now, I had a question online about why you'd ever want to make your fingers deeper. Remember?
Yeah, we were talking about it because it raises the
the RG.
Yeah.
Why would you want to make a ball harder to spin up?
Ask the guys that were throwing the jab. Isn't that the one? Wasn't that the RG that was over?
No, that was the differential.
Oh, was the differential?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. A ball that's harder to spin up isn't going to read the front as hard. So if you have a lot of friction in the front of the lane.
So on wood lanes or light oil,
Yep.
I can see a lot of pros doing higher RGs. Right?
I have noticed a lot of people that I've talked to that have experimented when they see high friction, burying their fingers, trying to get the ball to get through the fronts easier, trying to get it to tumble through there.
Sometimes you want a high-end ball to do all the work it needs to do down lane, and you can't get it to, like you said, it kind of hooks too much at your feet or something on certain patterns, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at look at the stuff that you like to throw on burn.
Yeah.
Things like the Tundra, the Pearl Beast, balls that were really high RG, like 2.55 or plus.
Oh, I was all over the original, was it the Red Melee?
Yep.
When it came out, and it was the same.
Yep.
It was a high RG, I remember that.
That way it can get down lane without spinning up, and it still has energy when it gets there.
Yeah, thumbs differential, fingers RG.
That's right.
Yeah. I just always mix the two up when I'm thinking about what I gotta do, so that's why I pay Rob to do my stuff. So I don't have to remember as much.
Yep.
And then when people come ask me about equipment, I say, well, I really like this and this, and the way you throw, but I would check with somebody like Rob that knows what you're talking about. So.
That's it. I could have been a doctor, but instead I can drill bowling balls and can barely find my way home.
Before I sold the young guy my jackal, I checked with Rob first to make sure that it was going to be something that he would be able to get into his bag and take advantage of.
And boy, has he ever.
Yeah, so,
I think he won 2 sweepers once he got it, didn't he?
Yep. And I drafted him on my team for Wednesday.
That's right.
So
I guess our season's going to be shorter this year. I guess we're only going to have probably like a 9-week for Wednesday nights.
We were already shortening it up, so I'm not sure it's going to be super short, I think. So I know on Sunday we were talking about adding 2 weeks on. We were going to check and make sure it was okay with Tom.
Yep.
So I don't know if we'll end up doing that on Wednesday or not.
Well, if that doesn't happen, if we don't get the league going, we really would like to do a singles Peterson league.
Yeah.
Or I'm not even a singles Peterson league, just a singles match play league.
Yeah. I like the couple ideas you came up with the points and stuff like that, where you're not necessarily out of it right away. That's why I kind of like the Peterson. I miss the Monday Peterson league because it doesn't matter if you shoot 700. I mean, it's better to shoot 700, but you
can only get so many points.
You only can get so many points, right?
Yep.
So you're not stretching yourself out too far. So.
All right, let me put some fingers in this thing.
So I have a question while you're thinking your notes and
All right.
everything. So we've been really struggling on our Wednesday night with getting, let's say, crisp back ends and very little friction on the outside to give us a good rolling start.
Okay.
Would delaying, I know this is going to sound weird, delaying the response to the friction by increasing our angle make it better, or do you think it would make it worse?
Well, right now we have 0 friction.
Yes.
So changing the angles isn't going to get us any more friction.
So it's not really going to change that kind of thing.
That's right. First thing, surface always.
Yeah.
60 to 70% of your reaction is going to be surface. From there, you have to look at where you're playing. I know for myself, I've noticed a fair amount of people playing too deep too early.
Yeah.
Which means they never end up developing any friction. You do a really good job of using your stuff early to create a friction point outside, so at least you're able to use your urethanes.
Yeah.
For myself, as a low tilt bowler, I actually, while they are difficult, the low tilt characteristic lends itself better to bowling on those kind of conditions because you're able to get the ball into a roll. If I was a better bowler, I could probably take advantage of it.
Hey, so one of the last Wednesdays we bowled, I couldn't get anything to have any wiggle. And I ended up playing my statement solid at 500 and probably playing straight up 13.
Yep.
Or maybe 18. Somewhere in there. And just almost playing and hoping that it caught something just for the headpin to get that 6 or 7 degrees that I wanted into the pocket, right?
You think the game of bowling is all about friction. Finding it, taking advantage of it, revealing it. When we talk about it, a lot of people are like, well, they look at the oil as the important part, and what they should be looking at is where the friction is.
Yeah.
Because the oil is not permanent. The oil will continue to go away, but the friction will get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, we talked about that just before you were doing your stuff for where your girls went.
Oh yeah, for Cali, Columbia.
Because you said that you knew their center was very high in friction, and it made perfect sense to me that if you can find the high friction area, it's not going to change as much as playing somewhere that's going to develop into a high friction area, right?
Well, knowing where the friction is and where it's going to develop, then you can make a plan for it.
Yeah.
Like in Cali, the first 15 feet are just, even on fresh oil, are almost fried.
Yeah.
So you either had to be able to play through it or over it. And that's why you saw the scores. Like the scores, as the week went on, became very up and down. Not because the bowlers got any better, but the conditions varied so much.
Yeah.
You ended up with lane characteristics of oil being trapped down lane and lots of friction up front, so you almost had to get the ball to not see as much of the front friction set and then roll because you weren't getting anything down lane.
Yeah.
But then as they dried out again, you'd get 7 feet of hook in front of the pin, so you'd have hook, skid, hook.
Yeah. And then they went through all that, fought really hard, and qualified well, and then they put them in a different lane. I've never been a fan of that. I mean, the PBA's done it off and on too, and stuff like that. I mean, that's the one thing I have to say about Detroit before they finished all the renovations.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice of them to come out and bowl in the house and all that stuff, and then move them over to a
The
different
theater?
area that they never touched to qualify. And it's like, well, that's not what they qualified on, and I always thought that was kind of funny.
And that area, the bay, always played so much differently.
Yeah. And then to play on brand new, freshly built lanes in Cali, and then also outside, which.
Oh no, that was in Dubai.
Oh, that was in Dubai. Sorry, yeah. Dubai was even worse. Yeah. In Cali, I think they played inside. It was Dubai. I was mixing the two of them up, but Dubai was ridiculous.
The Dubai they played outside. I was really proud. Brent Pinnell, one of the other national coaches, he went down with our ladies there, and he did a masterful job. just working with them while they were there. And then Sarah's performance was spectacular.
Yeah.
Like she I think is going to be probably the next person we hear a lot about from Canada. In the past we've had Graham Faw, we've got Frankie Lavoie, we've got Zach Wilkins. I think Sarah is going to be the next really big name you hear when she goes out on tour.
Yeah.
Like, she's still in university. She's just finishing up her schooling. And she's already got an international silver. Like, she is good.
Yeah. I just remember when the ladies tried that, too, and the guys tried it once, too, outside. It's just...
Oh, yeah, when they were in Vegas. And they...
Yeah, let's go outside in the desert where there's sand blowing everywhere all the time on a windy day, and we're going to bowl. See what
that'll
happens.
never backfire.
Yeah, never. So... yeah, it's just funny to think sometimes we go through all that hard work and everything to do qualify, and then we go to a place that is entirely different than everything else, right? So
Sorry, what?
I said you do all that hard work to qualify in a tournament like that, and then you move somewhere that you're not comfortable with. It's,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Anyone who can you think about the men did it with the stadium, the ladies have done it. You think a lot of their tournaments, there's that one that's at the Speedway that they set the lanes up.
Yeah.
Like, they have to bowl through some real difficult conditions.
Or there was, the ladies, the one year, they bowled 3 tournaments at different houses and then bowled all the TV events at an entirely different house.
All at the same time.
All at the same time, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, but...
Now, let's see here. Got to pick a thumb color. We got black, but black's kind of boring. I thought I'd taken one out for each ball.
I thought we were doing blue on that one. Or did we do blue on the last one?
I think we did blue in the last one.
We did yellow in the cross and blue in the...
I must have moved them. Turbo helps us out. They send us our switch grips. And they sent us colors this time, which is amazing. But I always, I can never decide. Do we put the blue in this one? Because it's going to be down there in that thumb area that's the same color. Or do we put it in the Eruption that's kind of pink and... you know what, that's got some purples and stuff in it, so we'll put like a yellow or maybe orange. I don't know. We'll figure that out later.
Just not black.
Just not black.
Black's too.
Turbo used to make those really nice red ones.
Yeah.
Love those ones.
I want to buy a bag of the pink ones, I think.
Yeah.
I can save some money up when the October comes around again or whenever they release them again.
Yep.
And get the inserts and the switch grips.
So this Thursday, doing another one, we're going to be drilling up our two-handed ball. We're going to be doing 2LS system, the new Storm system. I still don't know what I'm going to drill the ball at. Got to figure out where it fits into his arsenal. Not a lot of videos on these though yet, on the 2LS system.
No.
I don't know why more people haven't talked about it.
Maybe they're still trying to figure it out.
Maybe. It's all math to me. Love me some math.
Math and numbers and angles and doohickeys and...
When you have 3 people in the match and you've got 66 and 0.6% chance of winning, but then you bring in the Steiner math and now you've only got 8%. Nope, wrong one. As always, a Turbo Slow Zip. Best thumb product There was not a two-part.
Super Bliss said it was because they've gone blind trying to use the lightning arc chart.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so that means something to you guys. I just
Okay, so one of the measurements is very, very specific. It's converted based on your PAP.
okay.
So you have to use this lightning arc chart to figure out how far back you've got to come from one angle to make another angle to line everything up. Except the chart is like that big, and you have to try to find your measurement on it. It does need to be a billboard, absolutely, 100%. Like, it needs to be like, ooh. Luckily, the two-hander that I drill for, his PAP is the one they use as an example, so I just use their lightning arc chart
There you
number.
go.
I'm like, sweet.
Dawn said she might want you to teach her how to bowl two-handed when she gets back into it.
Well, I've been telling my other coaches, you look at the team, I believe it was Mexico at Cali. They had 2 or 3 two-handed female athletes.
Yeah.
And they threw it good. I honestly think if you are a quality bowler, you deserve to at least try it for yourself, because a lot of the one-handed principles people don't realize move over to two-handed. And it is just, I mean, if you can do it, it does seem to be the superior style.
Yeah.
You know, arguments aside, you can make more ball speed, you can make more revs. It is easier for people to get into the sport doing it, so I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I would love to see some of my athletes learn two-handed if they don't already do it, or at least try it.
Yeah. I've always thought about it too, getting it a try, but
It's a versatility.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, if I'm not going to a tournament where I have a limited number of equipment that I can only bring,
Yep.
why would I not take advantage of being able to, you know,
Just go jump and grab your other ball and
especially, like I said, right now I've been really having trouble on Wednesdays being able to even play straight with playing two-handed and playing up the lane.
Yep.
Would give me just a little bit more to.
Well, that's it.
Right.
Wayne has been eating it up. Even Zach, you know, when he has been in the country, has done pretty good on it. That little bit more rev rate, you know, it's not a hindrance.
Yeah. Well, I watched. I think it was last year's. The PBA put up on Facebook. It was last year's player champion.
Yep.
That's the one we're doing. Yeah, with and it was a lot of first timers, younger guys, and everything. But just watching in the end, watching Kyle's ball reaction compared to
Everybody else's.
yeah, just some of the carry he got to beat the young guy that he bowled against just was. And I mean, even Chris, right, throwing 17 strikes in a row.
Yep.
From the start of the tournament. I mean,
Hey, I've learned how to bowl two-handed. It's, if you can learn to do it,
yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
Definitely, though, doing my yoga first
Yeah.
really helped, because I am a pretty inflexible guy.
Yeah, that's what I have to get back into. Get the yoga going, get all limber, spaghetti arms, spaghettis.
Nice. All right. So I'm going to cut that thumb down a little bit later, but you can see we got that pin is real close, but because it's dot and dynamic core, don't have to worry about it.
Nice.
Boom. I can hardly wait to throw this. It's just a sexy looking
Yeah.
ball too. Cool.
Let's see. I've seen a lot of guys purposely lay it out just so they could drill like in the middle of it, like just cut a piece of it off just so they can say, "Ha ha, I did it."
Yep. If I had a second one of these, you know what I would do with it? If I just had another one to throw around?
And put it like in the finger.
No, do the alias layout.
Oh, yes.
negative 15 by 4 by what, like 30 or something?
I'm trying to think.
Making it super symmetrical?
I was going to say, I think that's the one I lost when the center closed last time.
Oh, yeah, because that's the one that cracked in your bag.
Yeah, I think that's the one that cracked in my bag. So I have the asymmetric one still, but I lost the symmetric one, which I threw a lot more on weaker back end shots and stuff like that. So.
All right. Well, we got this drilled. We got the other one laid out. Going to drill it a little bit later. What else do we need to talk about before we wrap this one up tonight? Any questions from the chat? I think we've gotten through most of those. And we covered this weekend's events.
Yeah.
So I guess these shows will be starting this Saturday?
This the 22nd? Is that what I think I heard?
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, Saturday. So
that'll be pretty cool.
And then do they all fly to Dallas? Is that where it is?
I don't know.
I was gonna say I don't know if they all go somewhere and all bowl together now, or they're bowling in their centers, or.
I think it would be hard for them to move to do the TV production in each area, so they must be
Yeah.
traveling. So I like what they've done. Justin Wyman doing all of the graphics and stuff for the tour last year. It looked sweet. What, you
Beginning
didn't
to
like it?
air Fox on Fox Sports Net FS1 Saturday, January 22nd.
Okay, cool. So it'll be on Flow for us Canadians,
Yeah.
and then everyone who actually gets real television programs can watch it live on TV. This is why they make fun of us, you know that, right?
Yeah.
In other countries. They think we're slow, eh?
All
Just we don't-
telecasts are, yeah. So 22nd has the East and the South.
Okay.
The 23rd is the Midwest and the Southwest. The 24th is the West region. And then the 29th is the actual finals. So those 5 winners of those, the 5? Yeah, 5 winners of those regions will play in the stepladder.
Neat. Well, once that's over, maybe next week for the show we'll talk about what was on TV, and we'll figure out what we're going to drill. We'll talk about the finals, and really talk about whatever we want. I know one of the things coming up we're going to talk about is fitness. I know people hate it, but the more that I've done with my athletes, the more that I study, the more that I can see what does work for bowling and what doesn't work for bowling. And I'm kind of looking forward to sharing with people to try to give them some ideas. I know myself, I lost all that weight, but more importantly, I added almost 3 miles an hour to my ball speed, or my potential ball speed, over the pandemic. Like that's a lot.
I was going to say, it was funny to watch you throw when we came back and just...
Nothing hooked.
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
So I'm looking forward to sharing some of that stuff. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of two-handed drilling, because I know that there aren't a lot of people talking about laying out and drilling for two-handers and really getting into how important finger depth is.
Well, that would be way different than the two-handing, right? So.
Well, for two-handed, your finger depth becomes basically your thumb hole. So you're directly affecting your differential. So you can really make some differences with how your ball rolls depending on how much or how little you take out of your fingers.
So you have a question.
Ooh.
For you. Do you want me to read it?
Rob, when you lay out the ball with 2LS, if you know it, can you compare it to the Pinel system? Like I said earlier, I'm not super confident with the Pinel system, but I am working on it. I'm really hoping at some point to find Mikey. He has been absent from the community for a while, and we all kind of miss him. We know he's been through just a horrible time. He is now our expert on the Pinel system. So I want to make sure that I know it before I start sharing stuff, because I don't want to give you the wrong information. I want to make sure that when you hear something, you can go try it yourself and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Any other questions there, Mr. Nick?
So I have a pin down ball
Okay.
right now. I believe it's the Rip Solid.
Yes.
Now, we talked about that before. So pin down is normally slower response.
Slower response, yes. So what we mean is a slower response to the friction down lane.
Down lane. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually, if you look at it, a lot of the pin down balls have a low drill number, so they're starting up very early. Now there are ones that have very high drill numbers, and those are, you're going to see those more for the burn.
Okay.
When you need the distance, but you also need it to lay off down lane.
Yeah, I was thinking about bringing that one in after I fixed the weight hole on it.
The ripped, absolutely.
Yeah, and then even putting a little surface on it and giving it a try. So, because I enjoyed that ball when it had the weight hole.
Yep.
And as we know, it's not going to change it too much. So.
Now, is the I think the statement, the ripped came out after the statement, right?
The rips were first, then the
Okay.
statements came out after, I believe.
Yeah, because the ripped series had more mass below the equator, which changes the way it rolls as well. Depending on where more of the mass sits, if it's above the equator, it becomes more continuous. If it's below the equator, I think it stands up, rolls forward a little bit more, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I watched the EBI layout footage, the old training from them. But that's what made such a big difference in how the ripped rolled to the statement.
Yeah.
So I think that ripped might be good because you can get back on top of it,
Yeah.
like on top of the friction, and it's not going to be as continuous. It's going to lay off a little bit down lane.
The other ball I was thinking about filling in the ginormous weight hole we have is my Timeless,
Yeah.
and just seeing what that would do.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I think the only use we found for the Timeless was hitting it at 800, right? And then suddenly it was
below, yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, it was designed by a two-hander with a very large weight block. So it worked really good for a lot of the two-handers, but
Yep.
for me, we had to put a extreme layout on it and get some surface on it
Yep.
because I don't have as many reps. So, but it'd be interesting to see with the new clipping and all that stuff how it compares now. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
but
Okay. Well, I like to keep these relatively short. It looks like we're at about an hour and 10 minutes. So unless there's any other questions, we'll give a second for it here. We might wrap it up. Like I said, next episode will be on Thursday. And then after that, we're going to be jumping into our regular Tuesday, Thursday. This Thursday is going to be laying out a ball with the 2LS system and drilling it. If there is something that you want to see on the show, please let us know. Contact us at lanesidereviews.com. That'll take you to our Facebook. You can either message us there, or you can email us at lanesidereviews@live.com. You can find us on TikTok. Just put in Laneside Reviews or The Bearded Beast, and you should be able to find me, or us. And we're on Twitter under Laneside Reviews as well. So it doesn't look like we have too many more questions.
we just got up to 5 viewers. Now we're wrapping up.
I know. So, yeah, it's the way it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna be sharing this on YouTube, so those who can't be with us live, they can ask questions there. As you can see, we've been answering them on the show here. Anything you want, the sky's the limit. We're an open door. If there's something that you want to learn, if you're a shop and want us to cover something on the show, let us know. I have tons and tons of bowling balls that we can do some practice stuff on. We can do proper layout techniques. We can do some sport fitting. We can do all sorts of stuff. You just got to let me know, and we'll put together a show. But, boy, that ball looks good on camera, doesn't it?
It looks very pretty.
Man.
It looks pretty in person, too.
Alright, oh, and we have that XS coming up.
Oh, the XS, yeah.
And my Tour 6.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's get this.
All wrapped up.
Knock him out of his chair here. Nah. That's such a weird noise. Nah. One of the other things is we're just about done on setting up the system. We're going to be able to do some interviews. So I'm going to start putting that together. If there's anyone you'd like to see us interview on the show, like the Going Pro series we used to do, just let us know and we'll try to set it up and get them on here, and we can ask them any questions you want as well. But, alas, the time has come, he said, to think of many things, like going home. So now that we're done with that one, and I'm going to drill up the Eruption, we'll be able to test those later. So until next time, guys, I'm the Bearded Beast. That's Scoops, and we'll see you laneside.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a show. So until next time, guys, we'll see you laneside.